All the big calls on all the big races. Easter weekend is here, and thus is another What a Shout, brought to you somewhere in the capital. There's something about these Thursdays that we're loving at the moment. We will revert to Friday, worry not, but with all-weather championships on Easter Friday, and of course Newbury on Saturday. The decks are out. Let's go crazy for you out there. Dave Orton, thrilled to be back with you. Okay. Who have we got with our sponsors, Bet365? Well, it's always Pat Cooney, but where could the good man be right now? Let's have a look. Pat, where are you?
Hello, good morning from Newbury Racecourse.
Newbury?
Newmarket, sorry.
Brilliant. Yeah, I was going to say, Pat, that is somewhat unknown territory for you, isn't it? But that is a lovely picture behind you. Do we know who it is?
Someone said to me it's Trèves, the mighty mayor from France that won the Arc, but I'm in the Qatar boardroom at the moment, so there's plenty of Galileo goals and so on's around, so I feel honoured to be here.
The places you get to, Pat, and with a picture behind you, it must be like you're at home. Delighted to welcome back onto the show Robbie Wilders.
Yeah, all right, Dave. How you doing?
The latest machine gun enlisted into the tipping department.
Yeah,
how are you, Rob?
I'm all right. It's been a tough week because G-Rod's been off this week and he's left quite a lot for us to do.
Is that right?
We've been one man down, and I don't know if he's enjoying his time off, but do hurry back, please, Graham.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, not a hearing you often see. How are you with getting from the jumps to the flat? It's that silly time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm still in both camps really because I'm a big fan of the Punchestown Festival, and obviously we've got Fairy House this weekend. Yeah. So it's a little bit of both. I'm not fully invested in one or the other at the moment. Because
we have seen Newmarket, Bet365 sponsoring all 3 days.
Yep.
And what have you made of it? I mean, small fields, isn't it? We've seen that, but we've seen the stars.
It's a worrying enough sign, isn't it, that the fields are small this early on because there's a long way to go. And,
it's been a seamless transition for you onto these shows, but this could be your biggest test of all this weekend.
Why's that?
Well, because you've got to punt on the all-weather. All of a sudden, you've got to tell us what's going to win.
I'm not a huge fan of the all-weather. I've tried to churn out a couple of angles, but
we have seen a Craven, of course, haven't we?
We have, yeah, Native Trail. I mean, he impressed a lot of people.
But not yourself.
I don't know if I was as impressed as to suggest that he should be a 9-4 favourite into a 6-4 favourite.
And of course, Twitter reacted to this.
I've been getting a bit of stick.
All the time.
I've been getting a bit of stick. Someone's been saying I'm legally blind. My eyesight's great. I actually wear blue light glasses. I don't know if you know, but
no, I don't. Absolutely
some
not.
fella's saying he's embarrassed himself, all this, but at the end of the day, it's my opinion. I thought Claymore 33-1 made a bit more. The second, I thought he ran a blinder. I mean, he's very inexperienced, very green, and if he starts to learn to race, I don't think he's a 33-1 shot. I don't know if he's going to go for the race, but at the end of the day, it's a game of opinions, and let's not get personal, fellas, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you ever want to come and have a tipping challenge on this show, you're more than welcome. Pat, let's go to you on this front, because Native Trail, the champion 2-year-old, came back in the Craven. He was falls on, and he was workmanlike, but he was a little bit like that in the Dewhurst as well. They've got Corribus, of course, as well. We're now pointing all towards the classics. He was cut dramatically. Corribus going there after a gallop. Lots of people saying, should they have these gallops? Because we've got the small fields, of course. Where are they? He's not running at Newbury on Saturday. The market's reacted. Were you a fan of his performance?
With Native Trail, I wasn't a fan with 2 furlongs to go, that's for sure. But he's hit a flat spot before in his races, and he's come through to win Group 1 races as a juvenile. And speaking to William Buick after the race, he said that what he really loves about this horse is he just powers his way to the line. So he was very, very happy after the race, as indeed was Charlie Appleby, who I did speak to as well. So, very much it was part of the plan to come to the Craven. They always wanted to come here and give him that prep run. And so far, so good. I mean, what's not to love? As I say, he's unbeaten. He's the highest rated juvenile, 2 Group 1s already in the bag. And you've got the recency bias of he's actually come out and done it. And we've actually seen him. And we can't say that necessarily about a race for Corribus or Luxembourg. So he's got the recency bias to his name as well. So I think it's all systems go for Newmarket. Slight concern, maybe he's a big, heavy horse. If it was firm ground, that may be a slight concern, but we can worry about that on the day.
What price did he go with Bet365 then for the Classic on the first weekend, or it's actually the last weekend of April, isn't it, of course?
Yeah, we went 6-4 immediately after the race, and just working on that basis that, he did it well enough. And, I was heartened to hear Connections, how pleased they were with the horse as well. So as for Claymore, I think he's going to go in the French Guineas And he is definitely a horse to follow, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was a whopping run. Beautiful looking horse. He was a bit buzzy yesterday as well, wasn't he? So we're back on the flat. There you are. We will be looking at the Greenham for you, see if there are any other rivals to Native Trail, or maybe Caribus or even Luxembourg, as Pat mentioned. Who wins the Guineas at this current mention? Get your comments in below. Let's have a look. Are you switching to the flat, or are you looking forward to the Bet365 next Saturday? The jump's far from done with yet. Let's have a look at exactly what's coming up on the show for you then. Thrilled to say that we go to Leicestershire. Top all-weather trainer. He's got another championship in the bag. Mick Appleby joins us for around about a 10-minute interview. Unmissable stuff. Every single one of his runners running on Friday for you there. We'll then, of course, be doing the big race previews before those all-important weekend naps. All right, as promised then, I guess that's why a lot of you will be tuning in right now. Let's go to Leicestershire. Earlier on, Mick Appleby joined me. So, it's a very warm What a Shout welcome. A debutant to Leicestershire trainer, Mick Appleby. Let's go up to Mick. I think you're in your office, Mick, are you?
Yeah, good morning. Now I'm sat in my kitchen.
Breakfast time. We join you after the gallops. I saw you on Sky the other day. I think you were in a bedroom, Mick, so we probably upgraded that one, I imagine.
Yeah, yes. I finally moved downstairs.
Okay, all right. You see yourself on camera. It's amazing what it will make you do the next time. You're a popular man this week, Mick, because another all-weather championship in the bag. We shoot this on Thursday, just before the big day, of course. Now up at Newcastle, but you've got runners all over the place. How's the winter been, Mick, first and foremost? Obviously, once again, highly profitable and prolific for you. But any different challenges, field sizes? Are we getting a bit too political on that one, or...?
No, not really. I mean, it's been very good all-weather season. We've had a lot better class horses this year than we normally would have had, which has been quite good. So hence we've got sort of 5 horses running on finals day, which we've never had before.
Which seems a bit ridiculous, really, for the top trainer through the all-weather. What do we make of the switch to Newcastle, Mick, first and foremost? Obviously, Tapiter. I've been told to call it Tapiter and not Tapita, by the way, for all my all-weather aficionado mates out there. I've been told it's basically to move it around, Mick. So, you know, a lot of people saying, well, what's wrong with Lingfield, for example? But is that the case?
Well, I think Newcastle is a lot fairer track. It suits a lot more horses, obviously, than what Lingfield does. I think Lingfield, obviously, you're running downhill around the bend, sharp bend. It doesn't suit a lot of sort of big, long striding horses, whereas Newcastle sort of plays into the strengths of most horses. I think it's only going to be a plus going to Newcastle.
Do you have a favourite all-weather track? Don't worry, they're not listening, Mick. You won't offend anyone. Maybe this is where we both start mourning the loss of fibre sand, is it?
Well, yeah, I mean, Surrey's been very good to me. Obviously, I've had a lot of winners there on fibre sand. We've now started having a few winners on the new surface. Now it's settled down. I was against changing it. To Peter anyway. Really, I think they should have put a dirt track down. But, that's history now. It needed changing. The fibre sand was outdated and it needed a change. Whether Peter was the right thing to do, I don't know.
Well, yes, absolutely. I noticed that Southwell have had fast-track qualifiers, which is something they never had before, so they'll be thinking already they've won the game. So you've had past 5 seasons, Mick, we count 438 winners, which is you're rocketing towards the 500. Let's get a graphic up for the viewers then of all your best horses, the top 10 then, since you started training by Racing Post rating. There are a couple that we actually had a list of 20. We can't, sort of go through all them that are running this weekend. We'll get to them, but there they are then. Caspian Prince, who obviously took you to places, but the one that I think we need to talk about really is Dan Zeno, who lies second on that list, and he's still in training this year.
Yes, he's back in training now, so he will be ready to run in sort of around a month or so. He's absolutely in great order. For an 11-year-old, he looks absolutely amazing. Still loves his racing. He had a very good season last year. So hopefully he'll sort of do the same again this year. As long as he's still loving his racing, enjoying it and running well, then we'll keep him going.
You're known to be, Mick, all-weather or turf, wherever it is, any country. You're known to be one of the best, what we call target trainers out there. How easy is it to plot up a target for a veteran like that?
Well, it's not the easiest. I mean, obviously the handicapper doesn't really relent very much. I mean, he did very well in conditions races last season. So, I mean, that's what we'll probably target again with him this year.
Is it fair to say, Mick, that you made your name from inheriting others' horses and sort of improving them? I mean, you buy horses at the sales, obviously, but Caspian Prince was one that you got given, for example. And people are always wondering, exactly what the secret is to it all. But you get the horses well. You look for the back class, I'm assuming, as well, something that's either got the breeding or the rating, and you work your way back towards it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and obviously, you get quite buying them from the sales, you sort of get horses that have had injuries, and you sort of try and sort of remedy the injuries and things like that, and then look at the breeding of the horses. I mean, that's one of the important things, and make sure they're being running over the right trip. It's amazing how many you do get, and they've sort of probably been targeted over the wrong trip. Sometimes you have to go a fair bit back on the breeding to sort of find that out.
I can imagine there must be syndicates out there watching this show who've had horses that you've taken to the sales thinking, it's just no good, it's got all these problems. And then you see Mick going like that to the consignor, and you're like, hang on a minute, we missed a trick here.
Yeah. I mean, like the first two good horses I got that actually put me on the map, 12 years ago, was Art Scholar, which went on to win the November handicap, and a horse called Lock and Tanks. I think he must have won about 12 for us. I bought them at Ascot sales both on the same day. I paid I think it was 400 quid for Lock and Tanks and 500 quid for Art Scholar.
What do you make then, Nick? Let's just keep on this before we look at your runners for the weekend. What do you make of all this talk about Britain becoming a nursery now? Because the Ascot sales has even become more fashionable because of the likes of yourself that go and buy them for 500 guineas and, earn about 50 grand off them for different syndicates and owners. You've got the Mick Appleby Racing Club as well. What do you make of that? Once again, it's sort of always been the case. The Group 1 horses don't leave, obviously, but there is that sort of ratings of 90 to 100, isn't there, that do seem to set sail. We've seen it at Newmarket this week, for example. Small fields, haven't we?
Yes, I mean, I think it's very difficult to buy them sort of horses with the budgets we've got. I mean, obviously we have to try and buy the lower class ones and hopefully work his way up to that rating. But I mean, obviously something needs to change. I don't know why there's so few sort of good horses running in these better races. I think half the problem, a lot of the problem is the prize money. Obviously, a lot of the better horses get sold to go abroad because the prize money is so much better abroad. Yeah. You also got a decent strike rate in Ireland, so that's not lost on you. Right, shall we concentrate in then on the big Friday then? It's the All-Weather Championships day, and up to Newcastle we go. Mick's already mentioned he's got 5 to look forward to. It's been great to see Alistair Rawlinson come back, Mick. I was there at Windsor when he had that absolutely horrendous fall. They literally had to put him back together, and he rides the outsider of the lot here, Air Harbour, who is one of those horses, having looked back at his record, he probably would still like Southwell to be the old fibre sand. Yes, it possibly would. I mean, he goes well on the Tapita as well. I think it's an absolute ridiculous price, to be honest. I sort of thought it'd be sort of around the 10 to 1 mark, and the price, I think you can get 33s on him now. I think he's got a great chance. I'd like to think he'll run a really good race. 2:35
then, one horse that was on the list for our viewers, Edgerarch, and again the breeding was there, wasn't it? We should have known he was going to climb the handicap. He's had 2/3 so far this winter.
Yes, he's done really well for us. He's a really nice horse. We freshened him up and sort of purposely freshened him up for finals day. He does run well, really fresh. So he's been working very well and he's in very good order. I'd expect a really big run from him.
What do we make of the draw at Newcastle, Mick, for people that don't understand it? I mean, I never get it right. If you run the stats on it, like you said, it is very even, actually. But is it just where the pace is? I mean, when I think they're going to go low, they go high, they come down the middle. I think it's going to be set up for closers, which is all the clock watchers thought that when they laid the track down and then front runners do it.
Yeah, he never seems to write this. Every meeting seems different. I mean, I think the first sort of few meetings, you always wanted to be drawn high and be coming up the stands rail, but you don't seem to have that bias anymore. So I don't think the draw matters that much at all, to be honest. Now, the best horse normally wins the race.
Okay, I'll take your word for that, Mick. All right. Okay. At 3:10, which this looks like a really, really good race to my eye. There's a couple, and this is one which viewers out there, Mick will probably agree with this. He's a classic case in point. This, a lot of the tipsters out there that have been following this, you know, and the shrewder judges of the all-weather through the season will tell you that different surfaces mean a lot of, you know, to the horses. Anarth, you've got, who to my eye is very lightly raced, very progressive. 2 from 2 at Newcastle with a run on Polytrack where he ran well, but not quite so well in between. He's getting back onto Tapper the key for this one.
Yes, it could be. I mean, he's run very well at Newcastle. He's unbeaten there, and I mean, I really like the horse. I think he's a very nice horse. Obviously, we picked him up at Newmarket Sales unraced. He'd had a few problems which we've sorted out, and I think the horse has got a lot of ability, and I'm hoping that he's going to be hopefully better on the grass. But I think he's a very nice horse.
Great. So we might be seeing him at Yorks and the likes later on then. All right, keep a lookout for that. Then another big price runner from Mix. 3:45. Now, it won't be a loss on a lot of people when the 48-hour decks came out, despite the fact that Highfield Princess looks like a bit of a warm order for a lot in the fillies and mares. You've got the booking of Frankie on Catwar.
I don't think we've seen the best out of it yet. But if she puts the best foot forward, I mean, obviously the favourite will take a lot of beating, but I'd like to think we could possibly get in the mix.
4:45, Mick. Let's go to this. And again, a market would suggest you that coming back to Newcastle, there's a bit of a hot pot from the Roger Varian stable. But United Front is rated £8 higher than the short price favourite. And again, he never runs a bad race. And I know that's a bit of a cliche, Mick. I can never get him right. Every time he wins, I'm thinking, right, OK, I know what he's going to do, and I'll try and find one to beat him. But he's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? What chance in the finale?
Yes, exactly. I mean, obviously, we beat it at Kempton. I mean, it was a very close finish in the favourite. I mean, he was a bit unlucky there, the favourite. But we are £5 better off with it as well. Mm. So, I mean, I mean, we've got a very good chance. I think he'd be the best chance of the 5.
Favourite, of course, Tyrrhenian Sea, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, for the Niarchos family, who looked absolutely like he was in love with Newcastle, but went back to Kempton last time. Like you say, Mick was in the mix there. Let's go to Lingfield then, Mick. Again, not lost on a lot of people that they've lost the big card, if you like, but we'll still have ITV coverage, and there are 27 more runners than there are at Newcastle as well. And you start off in the 1:15, which is the apprentice race, which is always keenly contested. Crimson King rarely puts a foot wrong, and you've got Benoit de la Sayette in the saddle.
Yes, Ben's a very, very good jockey. I think he held good places. I mean, obviously, he had a bit of a blip in his career, but he's back on track now, and I think he rides very well. He's rode a winner for us round Lingfield, so he rides the track well. And Crimson King goes very well on the track. He's got a very good record round there, so hopefully he should run a very good race.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be latching on to him, as they would in the 2:20, because you've booked Harry Davis, another leading apprentice for us going forward, on Whittle Le Woods. He's one of my favourites, this one, Mick. Can I be with him?
Yes, I mean, he's in good order. I mean, he's had a busy all-weather season, but he's holding his form really well. Hopefully he can go and win and get joint top leading horse.
He's got stall 10, hasn't he, Mick? Would that worry you around there?
Yes, I mean, he's not ideal, but he's normally quick away. So if he's quick away and he can get across and slot in somewhere, hopefully it'll not be a problem.
Yeah, OK. You mentioned the joint leading horse. Of course, you've had Intervention up there, Whittle Le Woods being it to be as well. Proclaimer is entered as well. Is that something that you're desperate to win?
It'd be very nice to win it for the owners. Because obviously Lionheart just got beat for it a few seasons ago. So it'd be nice if they could actually win it.
Yeah, exactly. These horses, when they get their time to shine through the winter, they thoroughly deserve it. In the 4:35, then, the last race, mate, you've got 2. You've got Hathlall and Baldemero for the horse watchers. What chances?
Yes, I mean, Baldemero, he's a very nice horse. I really like him. I think he should take all the beating, I think. I think he's a very good horse. And I mean, Hathlall, he's on a very good mark. So he hopefully should run well, but I can't see him beating Baldemero. And And I'm looking forward to getting Baldomero on the grass as well. So I'm hoping that it might improve even further on the turf.
You got stall 10 come out for him. Were you looking for the stable cat at that point, or?
Yeah, well, we seem to get a lot of outside draws.
There's a conspiracy, Mick. You know that.
There's a conspiracy there.
You've given us a couple that might take their form to a higher level than Unhalf. I certainly took that out of the interview, Mick, for the turf season going ahead. We talked about Danzino. What else have we got looking forward to then? I mean, could we have anything? You must be lining up something for York and the likes, aren't you?
Well, we've got Russell. He's running in the big sprinter, but Musselburgh Saturday. He's been working very well, so I'd expect a good run.
What an absolute pro you've been, Mick Appleby. You've given us one for Saturday as well. The viewers will stop throwing tomatoes at my face now after this. Mick, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. We've been looking for an excuse as good as this to get you on. Thanks ever so much. Clear and crystal. We wish you all the luck for 2022 and more importantly, congratulations on another All-Weather Championship final.
Thank you very much. Mick
Appleby then. What a pleasure. Well, there we go then. Let it not be said you haven't been told. He gives us a great insight there, Pat, didn't he? And some surprisingly big prices that he said should be a lot shorter. It's been another great winter for Mick. We know he can do it on the turf as well, but every winter, punters latch onto him, and I guess that'll be the case this weekend as well.
Yes, very much so. His horses will figure in a lot of multiples. He has a real good, strong following. And his horses, he does seem to improve them, doesn't he? Whatever they were before they get to him, he seems to get a tune out of them and they win races. So, I'm very much a fan of the stable and I wish them well this season.
Yeah, absolutely. As echoed here from everyone on What a Shout in the Racing Post. And lots to like about what Mick said about the game and the state of it as well. OK, let's move on and go right towards All-Weather Finals Day. Let's get going for you. Big race preview time, 2 o'clock at Newcastle. Of course, now the meeting moved up to Newcastle, usually at Lingfield. Lingfield is on, of course, as well. But the 2 o'clock, Pat, I suppose if you're looking for a star on the card, it might well be My Oberon.
Yeah, My Oberon, it's a funny horse, this. I seem to find reason to go against this horse every single race that it has. But in fairness, he was only beaten 4 lengths by Lord North in Dubai last time out. And that was a Group 1 line of form. So you're bringing Group 1 form to the table here, and he sits there as a worthy favourite. 9-4, but there are unknown quantities in the race with a French horse, Fort Payne, and Joseph O'Brien sends San Andreas over. So a few unknown quantities to deal with. And an interesting runner is Larty Harty of Roger Varian, who looked a horse real on an upward curve, but was dreadful last time out, and Connections could offer no excuse. Maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. But the horse is clearly working well and takes its chance. But the form book definitely says My Oberon, doesn't it? I think it's got a real solid chance.
Yeah, it should take to the track. He's a bit of a grinder, isn't it? Let's go to Robbie Wilders and see how your eyesight is on this race. Taking on the Fab, that's a certainty.
No, I think My Oberon will win. Yeah,
I thought he'd
be a bit shorter than.
This is probably the first favourite you've ever tipped.
I don't know about that.
Well, he's on these shows.
I wish it was, but. Yeah, I thought he'd be shorter. I mean, he's 1 from 1 on the all-weather. He's obviously not far off Group 1 level. He's the great run behind Lord North and the Japanese horse whose name escapes
Shalimar, was it? Something like that, wasn't it? That's a bad.
We're going to have to learn more about these Japanese horses because they're mopping up these international races.
Yeah.
He's got race fitness on his side. He's £6 clear. William Haggis is all-weather horses. His strike rate is by far the best at Newcastle than anywhere else, making a long trip up. I just think he'll win. I mean, there are some interesting rivals in opposition, but I just thought he'd be shorter than that 2-1. I can see him going off, much shorter.
OK, we've got likes of Bless Him in there. And again, as you saw through the Mick Appleby interview, by the way, Air Harbour, you were told. Nick was really surprised what sort of price he was. Thinks he can really run a biggie. Horses that have run at Lingfield and at Kempton, it's basically on potty track. This is a completely different surface. It's Tapeta. And those are the ones to concentrate on, say the real shrewd judges here at the Racing Post. Bless Him came good last time. Jamie Spencer just rides him to a tee. The interesting one for me is the top one, Pat. Amilcar. Andrea Aranzini keeping the ride. He wants this extra furlong. He's drawn low, which isn't ideal, but I think at a price he can give the Fav a run. What is he at the moment?
Yeah, he's around about 8-1, and I can see wisdom in that. But, he's rated 107. My Oberon is 113. So My Oberon's got that invaluable £6 ahead of him.
OK, the French raiders often nick one on this. So will it be Vive la France or will it be William Haggis taking out the first? 2:35, time for the sprinters to come and burn up the straight and have their day in the sun. Pat Cooney, Edge Tillard, Charlie Fellows, warm order?
Yeah, that one sits there as our current market leader. And what I can say, we did some filming with Bet365 at Charlie Fellow's stables. He's at Luca Kimani's old place, of course. And of HTLR, but he wouldn't put you off it, that's for sure. Thought the horse was in good order, comes here top of the official ratings. And maybe it's vital, maybe not. But everyone I've spoken to about this straight course says, you got to be drawn high, you got to be drawn high. So that he's drawn 12, the second fav Spycatcher 13, Volatile Analyst 15. So we've pretty much set our stall out price-wise on this, on going with those high number draws. So HTLR, he's going to be hard to beat, really. My eye is drawn to one drawn 7, Harry's Bar, only because he came back to form last time out and has got the excellent Adrian McGuinness as a trainer. And I thought that may offer a degree of value, but not much between the front 3 in the market. I thought they've all got very similar profiles.
This is a strong edition of this race. I think we can say that. And I'm delighted about the high draw and what Pat's saying there, but I'll reveal my pick after Robbie weighs in.
Yeah, we watched that Camage Trophy on RP Live, didn't we?
We did.
When Volatile Anis won. I was quite surprised he won there. That was a massive career best. Garrus. No, Diligent Harry.
That's it. Garrus has run well, hasn't
Garrus, yeah, that was part of my angle. I thought he actually won that Aberlin Stakes.
I don't know how he didn't.
I turned around and started getting on my work and then realised that the other horse won.
Double Bubble or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Double or Bubble.
Yeah.
Hang on, where are my notes?
Oh, you made some?
I have, yeah. I thought I'd take the courtesy.
You're learning.
Yeah, impressive run that. Diligent Harry's horse, I think, is going to go a long way this season.
Do you?
And yeah, when he gets fast ground, I think a bit of cut's not ideal. He's completely
He might have hit the front a bit soon, mightn't he? On his
exactly, yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, this horse is only 5. Keith Dalgleish very good with these kind of older horses.
Would this be the pick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's about, was he 8 to 1 odds? That's not too bad, I'd say. And
Well,
the high draw, as Pat alludes to, is key.
Yeah.
On the sprints at Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Old Venturous in this as well. He's got Tapita form, unlike Edge to Lard, the favourite. Was a Kempton winner last time out. I wonder whether that might catch him out. And Venturous for me, Pat, he comes into it on a hat-trick, and I can't believe you're as big as...
Around about 10 to 1 at the moment. Double figures, yes.
Double Bubble, as we mentioned there. Happy days. Venturous for David Barron. What a race this is, 2:35. Final race at Newcastle that we're going to preview for you this weekend on What a Shout is the 3:10, and this is an absolute cracker. The 3-year-old sprinters coming out, and the aforementioned Diligent Harry took this out last year. Pat, is there another group performer lurking according to the market?
Well, there could be, couldn't there? There's some horses very much on an upward curve. The market leader is El Caballo of Carl Burke, and that's won his last 4 races. We're officially rated 107 at the moment. So, yes, certainly I think whatever wins this will have group aspirations. We are actually laying plenty of a horse called Tiber Flow at the moment. 3 runs, 3 wins, William Haggis, Tom Marquand, and that's the one that's shortening up in the market. Official ratings, well, are not much help to you on this one because El Caballo is 107, Tiber Flow's 94. So the handicapper would say you've got to find almost a stone to beat El Cabela, but plenty of money around for Tiber Flow. Others of note, Caboo is an interesting one, I think, also trained by Carl Burke. We'll remember this as the big hype buzz horse at Royal Ascot in the Windsor Castle. He got beat, but he didn't run too bad. He's won 3 since, and he ran bad at Kempton last time, but he hung to the right, so it may work out better for him this time around. So El Caballo favourite, deserves to be favourite, but plenty of people think Tiber Flow can overcome that official rating deficit.
It was actually Lingfield, Pat, that Caboo ran at last time. I just had a look at that, and I'm not... Yeah, all right, I may as well go for it. I think Caboo is the best bet on the Newcastle card.
Oh,
there you go.
Make your case, please.
I shall. If you watch back in your members club section now, that replay, how on earth he got so close? He ran totally off the bend. And again, Polytrack wasn't for him. He's a great big horse. As Pat alluded to, that Royal Ascot Gamble was something, wasn't it? And he looked at one point like he might pull it off, actually. This is a very good horse. They've got the favourite, El Caballo. And this is where you don't know the Haggis horse. He's 2 from 2 at Newcastle. Is it Tiber Flow he's called?
Yes.
Tiber Flow it is. Thank you very much, Robbie Wilders. He's also one at Southwell as well. He could just be the one in the back that's above them. I'd have him, I think, over El Caballo, who I like a lot. But these Carl Burke horses, again, get back on a straight with him. He's got loads of scope. Nick Bradley Racing Syndicate, one of the best out there. He is a right old bet. This is a race.
You have an each way play?
I will be playing him each way because certainly if someone's going 4 as well, because I think you're just very difficult to get out of the frame. And just, again, watch it back. He's got no right to finish as close as he does. He just didn't handle Lingfield at all. He is one of the horses running on Friday that's thrilled about the fact they're going up to the Tyne instead of keeping it down in Surrey, I think, this All-Weather Championships Day. And this is a race, as I was about to say, that you've got to have watched because a lot of these 3-year-olds have been extremely progressive. It's a hot race. Take a price.
Very nice. You want to take a breath after that, mate?
You may do.
I don't have a clue, but you've made a compelling case there. I thought maybe Tiber Flow. He only just does enough in his races. We don't really yet know his ceiling. The ceiling of his ability. He's unbeaten. He's very progressive. Son of Caravaggio. He's bred to go on this.
No
surface.
need to apologise about the fact you're not sure about this, because if you haven't been watching this, like I said, you've got to. This is a video race. You've got to look them back. You know, there's a Charlie and Mark Johnson horse in there. It's a deep, deep race.
Yeah, it looks an excellent race. Yeah, I mean, I won't be betting on it, but I'll be looking forward to seeing what happens, because you got an awful lot of horses, an awful lot of ones next to their names,
right? And
the potential to be much better than they've shown so far.
No tip for Robbie Wilders, but a very strong selection from Dave Orton for you on Kaboo. Shall we switch our attentions to turf on Saturday? A great card this at Newbury, highly informative. Pat Cooney, and we've got the Greenham coming up, just the 6 runners, but we've got 2 top pack winners amongst them. Can we see a ripple on the Guineas market, or will they be sprinters? That's the question everyone is now currently wanting answered.
Yeah, this may end up being more of a Commonwealth Cup over 6 at Royal Ascot Key race than a 2,000 Guineas trial as we know it. And again, you've got to decide which horse you think will get the 7 furlongs, never mind 8 furlongs. Perfect Power is 2 from 2 in Group 1 races with Christophe Super-Sumion coming over. He's ridden him in his last 2 races. Can he stay? Will he stay? Maybe. If he does, he's got the form book chance. There's not much between them all, really. Initially, when I saw Angel Blue, I thought he wants softer ground. But then I've been in Newmarket for 3 days when it's been a heat wave and fast ground. But I looked at the Newbury going, and it was good to soft, it said on when we were recording this on Thursday morning. So I would imagine that'll dry out and it'll be perfect, no excuse ground. I don't know. I thought it was tough. I ended up thinking Gubbas has a chance for Richard Hannon. He won the big sales race here on just his second run. The ball didn't bounce his way necessarily in his next couple, but I think they're all fragile looking to me. So I'll go with Gubbas because he's got the good course form here at Newbury.
Yeah, Richard Hannon having a good start to the current campaign as well. All right, Robbie. We need to go this with a bit of a tooth comb because we need to look at pedigrees. Are you ready for this? We need to look at... give me the roll call of honour. What sort of horse wins this?
I'm looking at the roll call and I can see 5 future sires, 5 horses that have become sires that have won it recently.
Please do.
Mahatha, Muharrar, Kingman, Olympic Glory, and Barney Roy with an asterisk that I think he had fertility problems and he came back.
You put an asterisk on him?
Yeah, because he's not a sire anymore. He's running in Maidan and places
Frankel,
like that.
of course, won this before he took apart
the Guinness. Muharrar won it. He turned up to be a sprinter. Kingman, top-class miler. Mahatha, top-class miler. But I think looking at this, I mean, my selection is Perfect Power, who I think he's going to be a sprinter. Although, on the dam side, she did win over 1 mile 2. You found that out as well, didn't you?
I did.
Sumion coming over for 1 ride is very interesting. I mean, Angel Bleu is rated slightly higher, but all his improvement came on soft ground, and it's going to be good, or potentially even good to firm by the time the race goes off. So I don't really like him over 7 there. I mean, look to stay a win over a mile at Songclu on very soft. It's Perfect Power for me, but you can never be too bullish going into the start of the 3-year-old season because you don't know how these horses have developed, and there could be improvers in there, the likes of Garbas or Fame and Rib, but Perfect Power would be my selection.
I was with him a lot last year, and the fact that Supi Sumi's coming over for this does make it interesting. Richard Fahey off the cold list, would you believe it?
Loads of days without a winner, didn't he?
Yeah, but look, can't keep a big operation like that down for too long, and he's going to come back. This is the sort of race where you can find out whether you've got a Guineas winner in the pack, isn't it? If they go and win over the 7, and he is bred on the damn side to do it. He was finishing his races always very strongly last year, which gives you a bit of hope. Yeah. The Sale is the one that I'd worry about, I think, looking at the pedigree of the big 3, I think we can call them.
So, Perfect Power by our dad, we don't know yet how his 3-year-olds are going to go, do we?
No.
That was his first crop, wasn't it?
So very precocious, but a dam that did stay.
I mean, he was a sprinter, but sometimes you get like sprint sires who can produce horses that stay further. And None Never's had like stay winners.
Ridiculous.
You wouldn't have expected
Not
that.
easy, this game, is it?
No, it's hard to predict. You just don't know. And then some might be more, like in their race career, they stayed a bit further, but have influence for more speed. So I don't know, but Perfect Power for me, but not overly bullishly.
So Pat is taking a chance on this. What are you doing on the race? Is it one to just watch? Of course, Caribus, we were thinking might turn up. We know that there's no Godolphin, of course. So is this going to be a line? Are we looking at the Commonwealth Cup? I'm with Perfect Power 2 for what it's worth. I'm going to roll this dice all season with him. 3:35 at Newbury, final race preview for you of what we're covering 2 days here on What a Shout this weekend. It's the Spring Cup, Pat Cooney. 16 runners due to go to both. This will be the big trading race for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. This will be the main turnover race of the day. And what better way to start looking at this race than to go back 3 weeks ago to the Lincoln. And the front four in our market, we've got Rogie Bear, Salayim, Modern News and Irish Admiral. And they all ran in the race, and they all ran in the race with credit. Now, Rogie Bear, he did best of those with high number draws, and he finished third. It was a very meritorious run. You could actually say he achieved the most. But Salayim ran well from the front. He's got a solid chance. Irish Admiral finally put a decent run together, and he's got cheek pieces first time. And I thought Modern News was a little bit unlucky. He was a well-backed anti-post gamble. He finished 7th. I didn't think he got too much daylight early on in the race. So of those 4 that ran in the Lincoln, I'm going to go for Modern News.
Thank you very much, Pat Cooney. You made a complete boo-boo on the name of the favourite.
He's thinking of Yogi Bear there, isn't he? From
Boo-boo?
Yeah. Exactly. Wait, what? Hang on. Yogi Bear. What show was that in? It was slightly before my time.
It's Yogi Bear.
The show is called Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I'm going to do some research after this.
Well,
got a lot on, but I think I can make time for that. Well, this is an example, this race, of why you don't make a load of notes about a horse until you've seen the final field. Because I've been sitting there putting together a case of Sunray Major, and he's not running.
Yeah, he's a very popular horse, and people have got unfinished business because of what happened in the Balmoral.
Yeah,
in his absence,
keep him on side when he next runs. But
Kingman's brother, of course.
Exactly, out of Group 1 winner. Rogie Bear as well just catches the eye. I think
it's Rogue Bear for anyone that it's Rogue Bear.
Rogue, yeah. We were unanimously agreeing, weren't we, watching the Lincoln, that Rogie Bear was the big eye catcher.
Rogue Bear.
Yeah, Rogue Bear.
Yeah.
Was the massive
you should know from one to another. You know what I mean?
If
you were going to be named after a horse.
not many of your guests wear
you are the Rogue Bear
t-shirts.
In the pack. All right, so it was a massive eye catcher.
Yeah,
the only one that got involved from off the pace.
He came from miles back. He's only 4 years old, first run back there. He's off the same mark. I thought the handicapper could have nudged him up, frankly. And the Lincoln always produces loads of subsequent winners. And he's going to be very tough to kick out the frame. You're going to get quite a few places with 17 runners. So Robert for me.
He's going to be hard not to side with, isn't he?
He's going to be short, though.
You try, don't you think, 9-2, and it's a good race, isn't it? You got the likes of Migration and 106. And Etonian, I thought, was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Never happened for him last year. Hannon's always, maybe just might be a prep for the Hunt
Just
Cup,
got to give a lot of weight to Rogue Bear, though, isn't he? He's got to give up well over a stone. And
yeah, this is a slightly easier track, you would imagine, if Salayim goes off hard again. Irish Admiral, I think, might come on quite a bit for that. And with Tom Marquand on, I'll give him a chance to reverse that form with Salayim, I think, who might look like might be a 10 furlong horse to me. He ran really well in the Lincoln. I think we can all agree that Lincoln's the key, though, can't we?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Whether you're roguey or a rogue out there, will you be with the Fav in the blindingly competitive Spring Cup? Yep. It's nap time then this weekend. All about the flat. Where are we going, Robbie Wilders? Take the floor.
2 o'clock at Newcastle, my Oberon. I'm going to have a short one this weekend, but I think it'll be good enough. And hopefully people on tour won't be saying I'm embarrassing myself after that.
A lot of people will be wiping their brow and saying phew if they do these multiples. Pat Cooney, where are you going?
I'm going just 4 minutes later in the 2:04 at Musselburgh. Number 2, another bat for the Barron team. It's got a 0 by its name. That doesn't really tell the story because he was 11th in the Lincoln. He was only beaten 5 lengths. This is nowhere near a Lincoln tomorrow. It's a drop in grade. I actually think he's the form book pick of the race. So another bat, B-A-T-T for me in the 2:04 at Musselburgh.
Yeah, he's a horse that early season I like to get with as well, Pat. So thank you for flagging him up. And I shall complete the treble or the Trixie, whatever you want to do, in the 3:10 on Friday at Newcastle. Look no further than Caboo. They've got the favourite in the race as Carl Burke and his team, but I like the outsider. There are your weekend winners. Well, sadly, that's all we've got time for on this weekend's What a Shout. It's been all about getting back on the level. Pat Cooney, you've been enjoying, of course, Newmarket. I nearly said Newbury as well. Are you headed anywhere this weekend?
No, back home, I think. But one thing I can say, it wasn't just about native trail at Newmarket. where the Wood didn't, and the Wood didn't. People say, "Oh, I don't know how the form's going to work out." Speaking to connections afterwards, the horse was won by Francesco Clamonte, and they were suggesting it might be a group horse down the line. So put him in your notebook, Francesco Clamonte.
Yes, he's got the right colours of Peter Brandt, hasn't he, and the right trainer in John Gosden and Thady as well. And amazingly, Pat managed to get the pronunciation right. Thank you, Pat. We will see you next week for another big weekend for Bet365 as we go back over the sticks. But let's enjoy some flat action this weekend. Robbie Wilders.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.
I've got another weekend. You always give me stick for a lot of weekends off, but I've got another one.
Quelle surprise.
I'm absolutely delighted. It's Easter. I'm going to go home, say hello to my mum and dad, maybe give them an egg or two. Obviously a vegan egg. Can't have any milk, all right?
OK, all right, fair enough. From having egg on your face throughout this show, you can go and give a nice Easter egg as well.
Right,
great to have Robbie, great to have Pat, great to have you. I've been Dave Orton. Don't forget, of course, to gamble responsibly this weekend. Please don't forget to download the free must-have Racing Post app. You can do that on the App Store or the Google Play Store. There is loads of sport out there this weekend. Enjoy it.